What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for a live show, live transfer update. Timed it perfectly because Dimartio is speaking. So let's see if he will have any sort of news on what happened today for us, basically, or what didn't happen. We know what happened today. Juntili got announced, but I think we knew that for a couple of days, so I'm not gonna really see that as news. I might touch on what he said because he said something interesting, but other than that, it, he's been here for a couple of days now. It's just got officially announced, basically. Um, let's go over the biggest stories of the day. And the big story of today is Parisi, obviously, because I can see already a comment. First one from Jan, and he's right. It feels like that show. It kind of does. And the second comment is he will not, and I've seen it a lot, excuse me. News came out about Parisi and Fiorentina, and I saw the reactions of, he's not going to choose Fiorentina over Juve, which is fair. I don't think anyone would choose Fiorentina over Juventus. No sane person will do that. But if we are not in for Parisi, which is the case as of now, like it feels like it's the case, then we should not be mad, because he will choose Fiorentina overstaying at Empoli. He will do that because why wouldn't he do that? It's an upgrade. It should be an upgrade, but it's an upgrade. So the issue is not really him not choosing Fiorentina over Juve. If we are not in for them and going off the rumors, excuse me, if we are not really in for Parisi, if we are not really in talks with Empoli, then it's not him choosing Fiorentina over us. It's just we're not in for him. And according to Di Marzio, Fiorentina are really pushing for him for only 12 million euros, and that's I've actually no words for it. I have absolutely no words for not signing Parisi for 12 million euros. Like you can say he's not good enough, and quite a lot of people, surprisingly, do not rate him at all. Which again, it's all about opinions. But it's 12 million euros. Like, can you really? It's less than we paid almost for Cambiasso, and I don't think Cambiasso is that good at all. I thought he was never good. I never saw anything in Cambiasso, and I've never seen any. To this day, I've still don't see anything in Cambiasso. If I'm being completely honest, but 12 million euros. Like, what have we to lose compared to what we potentially have to gain here? Because I don't believe 12 million euros, excuse me, is too much for us. I believe at this moment in time, we're not really in for a left back because I refuse to believe, excuse me, that 12 million euros is too much money for us now. Like, if we cannot pay 12 million, like 10 plus 2 million euros at this moment in time, the issues at the club are bigger than we could imagine. Then it's not about selling Vlahovic or Chiesa. It's about selling both at this point. Like if it's 10 plus 2 million euros, it's too much. So I refuse to believe that's the case. And I go to something that might even be worse. And that's that we're actually not really in for Parisi at this moment in time. Who we are in for, I have absolutely no idea. Because I thought he was the target. I thought he was the guy to bring in. And he fits kind of the bill. He's young, he's Italian, fills in a position we need, has potential, and is cheap. Good. But when I hear names about like Hermoso and whatever, Lodi, which makes me sick just thinking about it. I'm thinking about the price tags and the wages, and I'm like, this is making very, very little sense. Like there are three explanations. One, we don't have the money. Two, the club doesn't really rate him. That could be potentially two or three. Alexander is gonna be the guy again, which I think it's very unlikely. It should be very unlikely. Unlikely. It should not be even a thought because you cannot go into a season with Alexandro again. You cannot go into a season with Alexandro playing 25% of the minutes. Like he should getting 0 minutes because he should not be at the club next season. But this story is kind of confusing. I think everybody had a feeling that this deal is gonna get done. We're gonna get Parisi. If it's not this week, it's gonna be the following week or the week after, but it's gonna happen. He's the guy he wants. We want also because apparently Ranocchia is close to Empoli. Like it all made sense. Like it all lined up um, to excuse me to happen. We've been linked with Parisi for quite a while, um, and just us not now at this moment in time, not being in for him, um, just makes me think and makes me wonder and makes me really, really. Excuse me, I'm just checking if there's any news. Makes me really wonder what we're trying to do because I have, at this moment in time, excuse me, at this moment in time, I have absolutely no idea what to make of it. If it's not him, then who is it? Because I have I don't believe the options. Like I find it hard to believe we're in for Hermoso or Lodi just because of the price tag, the wages those players are on. It makes just not enough sense to me. That to think that no, we're not willing to pay that for Parisi, or we don't think Parisi is good enough, but we do think Hermoso at 25 million euros and 4 million or in wages or 3.5 million in wages compared to 10 and 1.5 million euros in wages is better. So I'm actually very confused. I'm so confused, and it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing because I thought it was like done. It's gonna be done. One thing less to worry about. I will say, because again, I want the Parisi because I know what the options are at this moment in time. I know what we have to spend, and that doesn't mean I think Parisi is world class. I never said that. I don't think he's brilliant, excellent. I think he's a very good player with good, actually very great potential. You know, um, but apparently, no, that's just not for us at this moment in time. So, very strange. I absolutely am confused. We have to sell before we can buy at this moment in time. Yeah, but 10 million euros plus two in bonuses, I don't buy that whatsoever because you're gonna sell. Like you are gonna sell players this summer. It's gonna happen. There's no question about it. You can do this deal no matter what. So I'm not buying that excuse. It's 10. It's not 70 million euros. It's 10 million euros. You are gonna sell players. So I don't believe that. I don't think that's the case. I think we're just not really in for him. And for which reason, I have no idea. Like I have no explanations as of why we should not be in for him. Um, so yeah, but this is even more important than Savic by miles. Yes, position wise, like that position. Yes, 100%. I agree. Uh, I've said it like I like Savic, but the priority should be left back, right back, even center back, and right winger. If I'm going off the top process that Chiesa and Vlahovic are not going to leave. If those players are leaving, excuse me, then you also need to replace them. Somebody came up with a good point, maybe a far-fetched point, and he said, you know what? Maybe they're selling absolutely no one. Not from the three, not Breber, not Chiesa, not Vlahovic, and they want to go really, really cheap because they want to keep those players, get back to the Champions League, and have those players still in the squad. And that's why they're looking for very cheap options, or not, excuse me, for players that we don't have a single player in that position. 3-5-2, you can play, apparently, Kostic, Junior, and Alexandro, if he's going to stay. But the little money we get invested on the right winger, potentially a right back, and so on, But we keep the three big names, That's an explanation. That could be true. Like it could be, but I don't think that's true. I think we need the money from one of the sales that still is coming. So yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I can. I don't think we're in. I don't think we're gonna get Parisi. I think it's kind of done in terms of Yeah, no news. It's just Nico Shira saying that Sanitana are interested in Miretti, but that's very very old news because we knew that. I don't think that's a good move. I don't think he should be doing. We should be letting him go to Sanitana. But other than that, nothing is breaking. But the Parisi one, I think that's kind of done. I don't think we're in for him. I think he's gonna join Fiorentina or wherever. But at this moment in time, there's no feeling that we're actually really in for him, which is very very strange. That's the only explanation I can give you at this moment in time. That's all. So let's see. Let's see how that will develop, especially that position. Because we need a left back. Remember like 2 to 3 weeks ago, it was not set in stone, but like it was so convincing. The way it had been reported was like, okay, Alexandro is gone. We're gonna find an agreement to terminate his contract, and it's gonna happen. That seems very far away. It was the period when we were linked with that crazy deal with Galatasaray, where every player we wanted play for Galatasaray, and every player Galatasaray wanted to play for us. But that feels like ages ago, and it's only 2 weeks ago. So yeah. But let's move on to something that's linked with it, and it's Junior, because I've seen a comment from Jockey Bro saying reasons that we are going to play a back three, excuse me, again, and he doesn't fit. Then Junior doesn't fit as well. So I understand your reasoning, and it could be true. But then Junior is gone. Then Chiesa is gone. Then the task at hand to build a squad is gonna be even bigger. Is gonna be more difficult than it is now at this moment in time already. Because fine, Parisi doesn't fit a 3-5-2. So like Junior, no, you're gonna lose so much, and he's gonna look like a very standard player, nothing special. We're gonna run Kostic into the ground. That's what we're gonna do. And Chiesa has absolutely no position, excuse me, to shine in that formation. So good, not in for Parisi because you're gonna play 3-5-2. Fine, but the overall picture is gonna be worse. Like it's absolutely gonna be worse. And Junior is still linked with a move. We want 25 mil for him. Okay, we want 20 mil for Sule. That's 55 million. Do we need to sell these players? No, I don't think so. I think it's way too early. Like, there's great potential in those players, and especially in the moment we are in now, it makes zero sense whatsoever. It makes absolutely no sense what we're trying to do here. And if you're not gonna get Parisi, then surely Junior is gonna stay. Even though I hope he gets a move. If it's a 3-5-2, I hope for him and I hope for us, because it's gonna look very average. Like it's gonna look very like De Chilio-esque, where he's just doing his thing, but like it's not gonna be electric. It's not gonna be special. It's not gonna be worth talking about, if that makes sense. So very strange situation with Junior, because as of now, like it's 7th of July, I was expecting some more real offers for him, the way it was built up since the end of the season. And at this moment in time, it's these type of sources saying they could be interested, they could be paying 25 million, but there's no real anything happening around him. So I'm actually not really sure if he's gonna leave. I think Sule is more likely to leave, going off, just the way he's been used last season, and the reports out there. But Junior, I'm not sure. I think he has big chances to stay at this moment in time, because surely we will find a solution to kick out Alexandro, and then you only have Kostic out there. So I think he's gonna stay. At this moment, it's just based on a feeling, and my feeling, excuse me, says I think he's gonna stay. Yeah. No, I was just checking if something new came out, but yeah, all quiet again. Um, is there a chance we get a 2 year European ban? I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna be 2 years. Uh, I don't think it's gonna be 2 years, but it's very interesting because as of now, there's no reports that, uh, it's the end of it's mid July and we're still in the Conference League, so I don't get it. My fear is that they're gonna drag this on way too long, and that they're gonna slap that ban next season. When we potentially could get into the Europa League or the Champions League, and that's a disaster because that means you're gonna lose a lot of money, 2 seasons in a row, money we absolutely desperately need. That's my fear. The feeling is that it will still get done, and we will probably be banned and pay a fine. Be paid a fine because they need to find a solution because we cannot miss out on the big competitions if obviously we reach it via the league. We cannot miss out on those twice, 2 seasons in a row. Like that just absolutely cannot happen because that will be an absolutely disaster class for the following seasons. It would, So uh, let's hope it will not happen. If you resign Home, do you think you will move him to center back? I think he's better in that position. That sentence makes me sad. I don't think he's good in his own position, let alone move him. Like, if you want a center back, buy a center back. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, stop doing this. And I don't want Home. I don't get why we're linked with him. It makes me absolutely sad. Because again, maybe I've not seen him much, like enough from him. Excuse me, to say what I'm saying, which could be fair, but based on what I've seen, he is bang average, and it makes no sense. Like, I don't get it. I don't get that link, and I will never get that link. I don't see anyone paying 25 for Junior or Sul just because how raw they are. For Junior, I can see it. If it's a Premier League, they're insane. They will pay a lot of money. For Sule, I agree, especially if the club he's linked with is Feyenoord. Makes no sense. It makes no sense. So I don't see that happening whatsoever. For Sule to Feyenoord. For Junior in the Premier League clubs, I see that happening. I do. I absolutely do. We always make the same mistake, searching for short-term solutions. It's devastating. It is. Now Junta is in. You would hope these things won't happen anymore. But I don't think anyone would be. Excuse me. I don't think anyone would be shocked if these things kept happening. If that makes any sense, it's like the Rabiot thing is the main example. That's extremely short-term thinking, like next level. And we all thought that was not going to be the case after the season we had, but we're sitting here and he's staying. So yeah, it could be. It could be. It's difficult to discuss this transfer market because we knew money was going to be limited, but actually nothing is happening. Like, we signed way out, but I think everybody kind of, and that's no disrespect to Weao, but I don't think we discussed that enough. If you're being completely honest, I think that it felt like a signing, like Caio Jorge, and it's not on the same level, but it's like, yeah, whatever, we got him, that's the vibes I'm getting with the Weao deal, just going off how everybody is reacting, how everybody is talking about it. It doesn't feel like a signing. Everybody is like, okay, instant impact, improvement, excited, whatever. It doesn't feel like that, and it's not really a knock on the kid, but I say kid, it's not a knock on him, but that's the vibes I'm getting because the transfer market is very slow, going very slow. The names we're linked with feels like it's 2016, and I think we're all scared or waiting for that big sale, and that's kind of what's making this transfer market extremely strange, in my opinion. But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to another player that's linked with this. with us. Excuse me, that's Molina. I know Mirko Di Natale said he's not a real target at this moment in time, which it doesn't mean he's not a target. It's not at this moment in time not a real target. Doesn't mean we're not completely in for him. I will say this: I don't think we're in for him. Like, we should have been in for him last season. We weren't. It will cost more, even though he didn't have a good season at Atletico. They will not sell with a loss. They will always sell with a profit. But apparently, we're in for Molina. You know, he is the most expensive option we have been linked with. Obviously, I think he's the best option. You know, out of all those names, I'll take Molina, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It should have happened last season. I think we missed. I think they paid like 35 million euros to Udinese. Or let me know anyone if I'm wrong. I thought it was something like that, or the rumors were that it was gonna be something like that. But I don't think we're in from Molina. Like we're we have an agreement with Casania, but we're hoping, excuse me, to lower the 50 million euros asking price. Like if we are in that situation, then yeah, like Molina at 30 million euros is not gonna happen. You know, it's just a pipe dream. It's just to kind of I don't want to say have some positivity around the club, but not to talk about Casania again. Basically, that's the vibe that Link is giving me, because we should have got him last season. We didn't. I think we didn't for a reason, because he was there to get. You know, it wasn't a difficult deal to do, and we said no. Di Marcio just said that Lotito wants 40 million euros for Milinkovic Savic. He's not getting that. It's up to Savic, if he wants to leave, to push Lotito by saying, I'm not signing a new deal and I'm walking next season, if that's what you want. Because nobody's going to pay. And when I say nobody, we are the only team in for Savic and Saudi teams, but he doesn't want to go there as of now. But we're the only team in for Savic. He's not gonna. We are not gonna pay 40 million euros. We know that. Lazio knows that. Savic knows that. So it's up to Savic. If he really wants to join, and the club is like, we're getting you, you need to push that transfer, or the club should, you know, stand firm and say, you want Pellegrini. We agreed on 12 million euros. You're gonna pay 12 million euros if you want Pellegrini. It's as simple as that. Or you lower the demands for Savic if you want Savic. You know, that's how it should have been done. But they're not gonna get 40 million euros for Savic. That's just not gonna happen, because we're the only team for him and in for him, and we're not gonna pay 40 million euros. So that's that. I like Molina. The Molina link is one of the most ridiculous links ever. If we wanted him, we should have signed him last year, and I think we should have signed him last year for real. Yeah, I kind of agree. You know, just a price tag. I thought it was 25. I thought it was, could be. I thought it was around 30 million euros. Loan with obligation. Home sucks. He's not Juve quality. I don't think we. I don't know. I don't know if Atletico are gonna do a loan with an obligation, because they're not trying to push him out like they did with Morata, you know, and then wanted him back strangely because Suarez was cooked. But they're not pushing Molina out, so I don't think a loan with an obligation or like something like that is very feasible at this moment in time. If I'm being completely honest, you know, it sounds good. It sounds excellent for us, obviously. So do a lot of things, but as of now, Atletico don't really want to sell him. They want to keep him. It's just it's a link. It's a link, and it's from our part rather than, you know, Atletico being absolutely open to let him go. So I don't know. Excuse me. I think that's kind of everything that happened today. Not much. Actually, this week, nothing happened. If we be completely honest, Giuntoli signed, and that's it. You know, the only buzz or the only real news you got is that we're actually really in for Milinkovic Savic. But that's kind of it. You know, the Zakaria talks and potentially sale to um, to West Ham, and that's kind of the news because on Monday the players should be back in Torino for the fitness test, and starting from next week the training is back on, and we only have Timothy Weah, and all the rest is still at the club. You know, we can talk about having done a good job. And people list. I saw the list, and people listed it up, and I'm like, yeah, nothing happened. You're like, Kulusevski wasn't here. He's not here. You got way out, fine. You kept Milik. He was here last season. You know, Di Maria's gone. You kept Rabiot. Like, he was here last season. So we're going into training camp next week, and it's gonna be the same faces, bar Di Maria and Paredes, and Way Out's back. And then you have all the loanies also in training. Zakaria, Arthur, McKennie. Those players are back. So Rovella will be back. Cambiasso will probably be back in training. All those things are happening, but it's preseason. I think we played the 20th, our first game in preseason. No, I'm lying. It's the 22nd, right? The 22nd is our first preseason game, and the 20th of August is our first Serie A game, and nothing really happened. If we're be completely honest, it's just the same thing. So let's see how that will go. I will just end with this news from Laporte. He's being linked. I think that's just a pipe dream. He's 29. I like Laporte. I think he wants to play in Champions League on his last contract for certain. I think it will cost us too much. His injury record, fine. I think he's an excellent, brilliant defender, but I don't think it's at this moment in time. I struggle to see how. And that's basically it. What about Bonucci? Maybe leaving news? Nothing. I think he wants to stay. He wants to play the Euro 24, and he wants to stay in Italy. Fine, but you need to tell him you're not gonna play. So, but that's not. You're not gonna scare Bonucci by saying you're not gonna play a lot, because Mancini is the head coach of the Azzurri, and he's crap. He calls up players who shouldn't be called up, who don't play at their team. So he's gonna play under Mancini. So I think he's pretty fine with getting a few minutes here and there. The Newcastle links, I don't see it. I don't believe it for 1 year deal. I think he just wants to play the Euros and then he's done with football. I think he's that type of guy. I don't think he wants to go to the Saudi and all those things. Also with his kid being sick, health issues and all those things. But yeah, man, it's. I don't think Bonucci's gonna leave. I don't think he's gonna leave. I think he's gonna end his career here, and then. But it is an issue, obviously. If you have an injury, he's injured all the time. If I'm being completely honest, but if Gatti or Bremer are out, then you have a problem because Bonucci and Rugani are just not it. They're not it. So, yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of my life show. Not again. Sorry to disappoint you this week, but nothing really to talk about. Yeah, the Parisi thing, but even if you go back to the Parisi links, there were there were never. I don't want to say not strong links, but the reporting was it's gonna happen, but nothing like talks happening. All those things. It were just suggestions. You're gonna meet me then play. They could talk. They could not talk. Very strange, but that's the big news. And Giuntoli signing, Zakaria close to move, potentially, and that's about it. That's the sad reality at this moment in time. Let's see next week when players come back in training. Not for us, but for a lot of teams, maybe then things might start kicking in because players will put pressure on their club, saying, what, I want to move, I don't want to move, all those things. Not just for us, but like across Europe or across the world. So that maybe can speed things up. That's nice. No idea what you're gonna do in Genk. If you're going to the city center, you will be home in about an hour. But I'm not there tomorrow, so I'm probably not gonna come across you. But I'm gonna end this live stream. It's Friday. It's midnight. I need to wake up in a couple hours. Thanks everyone for watching. Like the video if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification. The link to the shop is underneath this video. It's pinned. You can get this one, which is actually great. It feels great to wear, by the way. So that link is in the description. I will be back live Sunday evening, maybe to talk about something real, something, even if it's negative, if it's positive, if it's you can get hyped about it or sad about it. Maybe we're selling Chiesa, who knows? But maybe Sunday we have something to talk about. So I'll be live on Sunday, same hour, actually half an hour earlier than today, to be honest. And then, yeah, next week, players back in training, and hopefully some things will be moving into whatever direction we're going. But we at least have something not to talk about, yeah, maybe to talk about, but at least have an idea of what the team is going to be next season. I think that's my biggest concern at this moment in time. Like, how are we going to look? What are we going to try? What are we trying to do? I think that's my biggest issue. But I will end it here. Thanks for watching, and I will see everybody on Sunday.